you, good day.
I grew up in I'm going to try not to get emotional.
Well, that's all right. You can get emotional. There's nothing wrong with being emotional.
I grew up in what I now recognize as a religious cult, and I grew up with a lot of fear of
Yes.
life, basically.
Oh, all right. Well, how exciting for you.
I'm having trouble letting go of that fear in order to move forward.
All right. Well, what are you afraid will happen if you do let go?
That's a good question.
Thank you. Do you have a good answer?
Not really.
Sure you do. Just think about it for a moment. What are you afraid will happen to you if you let go of the fear? There's a paradox there, isn't there?
There is.
So you're saying, I want to let go of the fear, but I'm afraid something will happen if I do. What are you afraid will happen? Come on, use your imagination. I know you people can come up with amazing nightmares. So come on. This is the way to get at it. This is what we're attempting to show you right now. This is the way to get at it.
Right.
This is the way to answer the question for yourself. If you can't find the answer of what it is you believe to be true, what it is you're defining to be true, just by asking, well, what would I have to believe is true in order to feel the way I do, which is fine. Sometimes because you're so used to the idea of fear, because you've been entrained into the idea of fear, you can use the fear in a positive way to drive the answer to the surface by being willing to hear the answer when you ask the question, what am I actually terrified will happen if I allow myself to be who I prefer to be? And if you're willing to hear the answer will come.
I'm afraid that I will lose my family who are still trapped in that cult.
I see. But not that anything is ever really lost, but in a sense, haven't you lost them already?
Yes.
Therefore, that's not something that will happen. It's something you're saying already exists.
Yes, there's definitely been a drawing apart the more I become true to myself and walk away from those beliefs.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
So remember, please, as we have just explained, you can do whatever you can, whatever you feel is in alignment with your truth, to aid and assist them, to give them an option to change their point of view if they so desire. But if they desire not to, maybe they need to be on that path just as you did for a while in order to learn what they really need to learn. You don't know. You understand?
Yes.
But that shouldn't stop you from becoming more of who you prefer to be. And in fact, the more you are willing to become more of who you really are, the more capable you will be of actually being able to help them should they ultimately desire your assistance. Whereas if you just remain in the fear, all you're doing is remaining within the parameters that you were in with them before, and you're reinforcing that energy for them too, because you're not showing them that there can be a difference. And you're not showing yourself that there can be a difference. Does this make sense?
Yes, it actually makes a lot of sense.
Is this helping?
Absolutely.
So if you move forward in your true joy, is there anything really to be afraid of?
No.
You know that. Yes?
I know that intellectually.
Oh, there's that lovely phrase that you people use. I know that intellectually.
I'm learning it. I will say that I am learning it.
You are in process of learning that. And in that process, what you're going to do is you're going to discover more and more definitions that are out of alignment with who you prefer to be, and you're going to go through the process of letting them go. Yes?
Yes.
Letting them go so you can grow. Yes?
Yes.
All right, so that's your process. Anything wrong with that?
No.
All right, so are you having fun with that process?
Yes.
Anytime you feel fear, use the fear in a positive way. Redefine it so that it becomes a messenger knocking on your door to let you know that you have a definition that doesn't work for you, that you're still holding on to. So when you feel the fear, say, thank you, fear, for bringing that to my attention. Let me find out what that is so that if it's not what I prefer, I can let it go. And that's how you use fear in a positive way. Make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Is this helping you?
Yes, very much.
Anything else?
No.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Pleasure to meet you.
And you as well.
My question kind of has two parts. The
Oh,
first
all right.
part is, do dreams come in the service of health and wholeness for individuals in the society?
Do they come in the service of health and wholeness?
Do we dream in a sense, is that a way of healing ourselves?
It's one way, yes. It's not the only way, but it's one way you can use dreams as a representation of the things that need to be rebalanced, and sometimes the rebalancing can actually happen in the dream state.
Okay. And
Just
so
depends.
how can I help people, or, because I'm also working towards MFT licensure as a therapist.
Yes.
And
this excites you?
It does.
All right.
It does. And I'd like to be able to utilize this in a way to assist people in their own becoming.
All right.
more
Well, what's
themselves.
stopping you?
Oh, nothing. I just would like to know if there is a better way or
A better way?
good way to use the dreams to help people.
The way that you're most excited to use them is the best way.
Okay.
Don't you trust your imagination?
Yes.
Well, then don't you understand that the permission slips you attract because those are the ones at that moment that will work best with your belief system?
Oh, no, I didn't think about that.
Oh, well, now you can. That's how it works. You attract what works for you as a symbol, as a permission slip, as a mechanism.
Okay.
That's why you attract it, because it's in alignment with your belief system in such a way that allows you to be willing to give yourself permission to be more of who you are. And in working with other people, you will also attract whatever permission slip will allow you to be most effective. Now, you have to have no insistence or assumption as to what you think they're going to get out of it. Because different people will come to you for a variety of different reasons, and not all of them will be what you expect. You can even attract someone for the exact opposite reason you assume they might be coming to you. Someone might be very insistent that they simply cannot be healed. I'm going to go to a healer and I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove that no one can heal me. There I went. See, nothing happened. Ha, told you.
Yeah.
But you have helped them because what they actually came to you for was a reinforcement of something they already believe and want to hold on to. So you help them. They don't have to heal in the way you think they do in order for you to be of help just by being there. Just by being a sounding board, just by being an experience. They will use it however they need to. You just need to be there. Make sense?
It does.
You can give them the vibration that may represent the healed state. If they choose to align with it, they can experience the balancing and the healing. But they don't have to choose to align with it. Your healing must be unconditional to really be healing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Is this helping?
Yes, thank you very much.
And anything else?
I had a question, but I kind of answered it while you were talking.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
So nice to meet you.
And you as well.
I have so much love for you.
Our unconditional love to you as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For some reason, everything you say really resonates with me.
For some reason, yes. It's because you're aligned with this frequency in terms of how you need to receive information.
I have a question
Yes.
regarding myself.
Yes.
Hopefully, maybe you can help me.
Maybe I can. Maybe
this
I
out.
can't. We'll find out together.
Okay. I have been doing stock options trading for 10 years plus.
Oh, all right. This excites you?
It does, but it hasn't served me.
It hasn't served you?
No, because I lose more money than I make.
Then it has served you. It has served you very well. Maybe it's serving you by telling you maybe this isn't the way to go for you.
Yes, but
Maybe you need to put more stock in yourself.
Why would an intelligent person like me keep doing it for like 10 years?
That's a very intelligent question.
But it still excites me. And I'm trying to follow my excitement.
Are you sure it's really excitement? That's the first thing to always check. Are you actually acting on excitement, or are you actually acting out of anxiety and calling it excitement in a state of denial? Because you might be afraid to actually do the thing that really excites you? Because you have a definition that it can't support you somehow? Just a question. But you can think about that for a moment.
Yes. Perhaps.
Yes, perhaps. All right. Let me put it to you this way. If it wasn't an issue of how it could be helped to happen, what would you rather be doing if you could do anything?
I would like to awaken people to their own health, because I'm always telling families and friends. And
are you saying that that's really exciting for you?
That is really exciting for me.
Is it more exciting than investing in stocks?
Well, stocks has a different kind of excitement.
I understand, but I'm asking you a question right now.
Is it more exciting?
Right now, is that idea, if
Yes.
you knew you could do
Yes.
it, that's more exciting.
Yes.
All right, so what can you do to invest in that first? Because if the stocks actually are representative of one of your expressions of real excitement, the only way you're going to allow it to synchronize and harmonize in a way that really serves you in your life is to act on the thing that excites you the most first and allow that to be the driving engine and the organizing principle of every other expression of excitement that will then automatically play out through synchronicity in your life to show you what you need to do, in what order, and when. This is how you understand how to use excitement, because it is, as we have said many times, a complete kit. It has all the tools you need. It has the driving engine that moves you forward. It has the organizing principle that brings you the synchronicity. It is the path of least resistance. It is the path that connects you to all other forms of excitement in your life. It is the reflective mirror that reveals to you anything that's out of alignment with your excitement so that you can identify it and let it go and add that energy to your excitement. It leaves absolutely nothing relevant out of your life. But the only way it really works in the way that you would prefer it to is by activating it, by acting on the thing that excites you the most to the best of your ability first, with no insistence on a particular outcome. That's how the formula activates the kit. So if you act on the thing that excites you the most first to the best that you are able to, until you can take it no further, and then look for the next option, and act on whichever one contains even just a little bit more excitement than any other option, no matter what it is, no matter how simple it seems, no matter how basic, no matter how mundane it may seem, if it contains even just a little bit more excitement than any other option at that moment, that's your synchronicity, that's your higher mind saying, this is the thing to do next. If investing in stocks is in the mix somewhere of what really represents one expression of your excitement, it will be put into the mix in the proper order. Synchronicity will organize it to let you know when it is actually the appropriate time to act on that expression of your excitement as opposed to any other. If it never shows up, that's not what serves you. Are you beginning to understand how this machine works?
Yes. What I'm hearing is acting on your most excitement right now.
To the best of your ability.
To the best of your ability.
With zero insistence on a particular outcome. I know that that's a challenge for a lot of you. Zero insistence on a specific outcome. Do you understand why that's important?
Because your higher self is going to show you what you can't see in this form.
Exactly. And the physical mind can't always tell what that's going to be. But it will always be what's actually best for you. So the idea of having an image, a symbol, a goal, whatever you want to call it, a visualization, that's fine. But you use that to instill the state of being of excitement within you, because you get excited when you think about that goal, when you have that idea, when you see that visualization, it gets you excited. Oh yes, this is the best thing that could possibly happen. This is the best outcome I can imagine. That's fine. But once you get all excited about what it is you're seeing or thinking about, drop the goal, drop the vision, utterly let it go, because you don't actually know if that representation is the best possible representation of that level of excitement. But your higher mind does know what the best representation is. And if you make space by dropping that picture, then you will allow the higher mind to fill that space with what really needs to be there. And in fact, if you understand that the physical mind has its limitations, then you will know that what the physical mind might think or believe to be the ideal outcome may actually be a limitation on the ideal outcome. So why would you prefer that? Does this make sense?
Yes, because, probably like most people, I bought into the idea 10 years ago when I wanted to do this as a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
To be with my children, and then I got like in a habit of doing it. But I was putting forth from my physical mind to say, well, if I can make X amount of dollars, then I can do all this other stuff.
Making a lot of dollars doesn't always make the most sense. Do you understand? Because abundance is simply the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it.
I've heard you say that, yes.
All right. Well, if you've heard it, maybe you want to start practicing it. Because the idea is, it doesn't mean that you can't attract money into your life. That's one legitimate representation of abundance on your planet. It's a symbol of abundance. But that's all it is. It's a symbol, one symbol. If someone comes along and gives you something that allows you to do what you need to do, that's also a symbol of abundance. So if you know that it would be easier, the path of least resistance, for someone to actually come along and say, hey, you know what, I don't need this anymore, maybe you can use it, and it's exactly what you needed, would you actually put your foot down and say, no, thank you, I'm going to wait until I make enough money to get that. I'm not going to take it from you as a gift. Would you do that? Of course not. Do you understand?
Yes, there's more than one path to.
And when you focus only on one representation of abundance, you actually close the doors through which other forms can come.
I think that's what I've been doing.
I know. That's why I said what you need to be investing in is your own stock. So take stock of what your beliefs are and invest in yourself so that you can appreciate yourself more. Yes?
Yes.
And when you appreciate yourself fully, you will be rich beyond your wildest dreams in more ways than you can imagine. Because you already are abundant. You all are already fully abundant. The issue is not learning to be abundant. The issue is learning what to be abundant in. Because you are always abundant in something, even if it's an abundance of lack. You cannot lack abundance, but you can have an abundance of lack. So if you don't prefer an abundance of lack, choose a different form of abundance. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You cannot not be abundant. That's not possible. It's your nature. Everything exists right here, right now. Everything you need is here and now. When you allow yourself to exist in the here and now, you will begin to perceive what is also with you in the here and now that is reflective of your true abundant nature. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Your stock just went up.
I have another question.
Yes.
About the concept or the idea of parallel realities.
Yes.
So,
You're going through billions of them every second to create the side effect you call time.
Right.
Right. I didn't understand a word he just said, but I'll go along with it.
Well, okay. So if everything is happening at the same...
All at once, yes.
All at once.
Yes.
Which then, so in other words, there's another me somewhere having a life.
Another version, actually millions and billions of other versions of what you consider to be you having other lives.
And that's all happening at the same time.
Right here, right now,
right
you just
here.
can't see them because the vibrational patterns are different than what you can perceive. Just again, simply enough, by analogy, like your television. At any given moment, there are dozens of programs playing all at once. You only see the one you're tuned to. Change the channel, you get another one. The other one is still playing. They all happen at the same time. It's just a matter of frequency as to what you can perceive.
Then if I shift my frequency,
you shift to a parallel version of you, which is what you're doing to create the concept, the illusion, the experience of change, time, growth. That's what you're doing. Every single parallel reality is actually just a frozen frame. You have to move through the frames with your consciousness like a projector light in order to create the illusion of movement and change and time and space. So by doing that, you're creating this idea of what appears to be the same you going through some changes, but it's not. It never is the same you. You are an absolutely, utterly, completely different version of you, billions of times per second, existing in billions of different versions of Earth. But that's what you call time. That's how you create the space-time illusion. Because you are essentially a timeless being. So how can you discover something new about yourself if you only experience timelessness? You have to forget who you are and impose upon that new clean slate an idea called space-time that allows you to have an experience of discovering yourself for the first time in a new situation from a new perspective so that you can have a new experience. So the structure of existence never changes, but your perspective of it does, and that's what expands creation. The changes in your perspective of a structure that never changes. That's the paradox. Is this helping, or am I just confusing you?
Yes, but...
Yes, I'm confusing you, or I'm helping?
No, I'm still sort of stuck on, then what distinguishes my consciousness in this time-space reality?
You mean this one?
Well,
or this one?
This body,
or this
on
one?
this earth.
Or this one? Or this one?
But then why can't I, see myself when I was in Atlantis?
Sometimes people can. It depends upon your perspective and definition of the idea of what creates a barrier between what you consider to be different times. Of course, it's not always relevant for someone to have that ability. Doesn't mean you have to be able to do that to live a full life. And sometimes being able to experience or connect more strongly, more consciously into a parallel life going on right now in Atlantis doesn't necessarily always benefit what theme you're exploring right here and now. Conversely, you are always downloading information from all those different parallel versions when you need them, whether you know you are doing so or not. And again, the point may be that you're downloading information and experience as you need to apply it in your life, and stopping to figure out where it's exactly coming from may actually slow the process down, and you may not really actually prefer to do that. So you're doing it all the time, you're connecting all the time, you're drawing information from all those parallel lives all the time, or at least many of them, just as they are doing with you, drawing upon your experiences as they need them in their lives. Because from the physical level, those people are their own people. They're not you. You are you, they are they. And you're making that cross connection from the present. There's no such thing as the past. That's an illusion. All lives exist now. Therefore, you make a connection to them as you need information from them. But because you are coming from a space-time perspective, you interpret that connection as a past connection, as a memory. But you're creating that right now, in the present, billions of times a second, over and over and over again, to create a sense of continuity for yourself, in order for you to have a space-time linear experience. Is any of this sinking in?
Yeah, it sounds like it's all about frequency.
Very good, it is. It's all about frequency, because that's really the only thing that can differentiate what is essentially a homogeneous medium. The one is a homogeneous medium. It's all one, yes? So anything you perceive as a difference, has to be the one expressing itself at a different frequency in order to appear to be something else. Make sense?
Yes.
So it's all about resonance. It's all about frequency.
So is that the same reason why I heard you say the toxins, chemtrails, whatnot, it doesn't have to be our reality if we are not vibrating in that frequency?
If you have the capacity to truly know that you are living a completely different truth than someone else, then you will experience a completely different physical reality. You have given yourself many different kinds of symbols or representations of this idea. In other words, one sample, one example, one symbol is many of your medical doctors have discovered that people on your planet with what you call multiple personality disorder, which is not really that thing, but nevertheless, one personality can actually have a cancerous tumor. The minute they switch to another personality, that cancerous tumor is gone. Instantly. Because they literally, truly are another personality believing a whole other reality. So it can be done, and it is done all the time. But you have to be able to wrap your mind around the fact that that's how it actually works in order for you to know that you can do that consciously and intentionally. But that's part of the process of what many of you are learning in this age of transformation. So let it be okay that it's a process. That's what life is all about anyway.
So in other words, based on your multiple personality example,
yes,
if I were to know that, chemtrails really exist and there's aluminum whatnot being sprayed.
yes.
But if
if you know that they can have no effect on you, they will not.
Got it.
You can neutrally observe realities that you don't have to experience everything of. That's one of the traits of the new transformational age on your planet. You can observe people that have reality experiences that you don't have to experience, and just observing them neutrally doesn't mean you have to be affected by them. It's just information for you, perhaps even to be able to help them make a change too. You have to be aware of what they're going through in order to help them know they can change. So you have to be aware that there are other realities you could be experiencing, but no, are not relevant for you.
So we have the power to neutrally observe what is.
Absolutely.
And not let...
That's the balance point. You see, many of you talk about your physical reality as if it's actually a polarity, a duality. It's not. It's a trinity. Between the light and the dark, the positive and negative, there is always the center point, the balance point. And the big secret is because it's an actual true balance point, which gives you the conscious ability to choose what you prefer, that means creation is actually very slightly biased in the direction of the positive. So if you did nothing else but just let go, utterly let go, the natural currents in creation would carry you toward the positive side eventually.
All right, let's say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. Thank you. I have a question for all of you. Do you have a soul?
Yes.
No. What does he mean by that? Of course we have souls. No. You don't have a soul. You are a soul. So, this perspective can change a lot of things in the way that you experience physical reality because you're creating it. It's a projection of your consciousness. And here, fundamentally, is how you do this. Now imagine, if you will, that you are a soul, an orb of light. So picture this in your mind. You are this sphere, this orb of light. And within it, there are ripples of energy, patterns of energy. Just like dropping a pebble into the pond creates ripples. Imagine ripples in every direction inside this orb of energy, this orb of light. When a soul decides to have a physical experience, this is what happens. These ripples that all are happening inside this sphere of light, this sphere of energy, this sphere of consciousness, all these ripples represent different aspects, different qualities, different attributes of the soul. So when a soul decides to experience a theme in physical terms, some of those ripples, some of those attributes are focused on, and they condense down and down and down in a focus to the center of the orb of light. Now, that doesn't mean the orb disappears. It is still there. Only some of the aspects of it have condensed down into this tiny, small bit at the center. You might call it a seed, a hard kernel, like a subatomic particle. And that small crystallized seed at the center of that orb of light is your physical mind. That is how the soul creates its experience of physical reality. It creates a focus, it creates a dream experience within the center of its being, taking some of the qualities, some of the attributes, some of the aspects of its total self, crystallizing them, focusing down into that little center seed, that little center crystal. And that center crystal contains those attributes that represent the theme that that being will explore as a physical being in that physical dream at the center of the soul. So when that life is over, the soul doesn't leave the body. The crystal seed starts to expand again, starts to open up again, starts to soften, and starts to merge back with and into itself as the soul. So that is what death is simply the awakening from the dream state, from the little crystallized seed at the center of the soul. And the idea of the expansion of consciousness overall is what begins that process of opening up. It doesn't mean that just expanding your consciousness means you have to die physically. But the idea is that you open up and you are a little bit like a small open sphere inside the bigger sphere. Not so concentrated, not so crystallized, not so hard, not so focused, so that you have the ability to tap into the vibration of the soul more readily, more easily. And this becomes the relationship between your physical mind and your higher mind, which is the soul, which is that portion of you that is still the sphere of light, the sphere of consciousness, the sphere of energy. That is the higher mind according to the physical kernel at the center, the physical seed. So by allowing yourself to expand a little bit, it's easier for you to, by raising your vibration, expanding that seed in the center, tap into the communication, the ripples, the information that is always coming to you from the rest of your being, the rest of you as a soul, as a sphere of consciousness, a sphere of light. By opening up a little bit, you then contain the ability within that seed, within the center of that seed, to harbor some of the vibrational frequencies of information that come to you, the messages that come to you from your soul, from the higher mind. So the idea then is that comes in an energy language, as we have said. And that energy language, that energy message from your soul self to the little seed that is more expanded, is translated by that little seed in the center, that little physical mind being in the center, as the sensation called passion, curiosity, love, creativity. And that is when you receive the message from the soul self that whatever contains that passion, whatever contains that excitement, that curiosity, that attraction, that is who you really are. That is your core frequency. That is your core theme. That is your core creativity. It is the next step on your path. And that's why it's so important to act on that passion. Because action, as the little seed, is the language of the physical reality dream. Not words, not thoughts, but actions, physical actions. Let the soul know that there is an echo from the crystal. There is a reaction, a response from the crystal that it heard the message from the soul self. and is willing to act on it, willing to be guided by it, willing, in that sense, to move forward in that way, which then allows the soul to respond to that echo, and then you create that back and forth dialogue between the soul sphere and the crystal seed that is you as a physical mind, as a physical being. Does this make sense? Yes. So again, focusing on yourself as a physical being, saying, I, as a physical human, have a soul, is very different than understanding that you are a soul that is simply having a human experience, that is having a human dream, a physical reality dream. So the idea is to allow yourself to really start opening up and remembering that you never leave spirit. Spirit is your natural state. You haven't left it. Most of you is there right now. All of you is there right now. But you have this little crystalline seed portion of your greater self that is pretending, that is dreaming that it's no longer in spirit. That is what physical reality is. And when you start looking at it from that direction, you start really tapping into your innate self-empowerment, your true nature, your true core essential vibration. And many more things can happen that are more representative of alignment between your physical mind and your higher mind, so that you can really understand you are not a human being physically that has a soul. You do not have a body, and inside the body is your soul. You are a soul, and inside your soul is your body. That's the difference. So, you are a soul, you don't have a soul, you are the soul. We thank you for allowing us to share this perspective with you this day of your time. In return for the gift that you are giving us in allowing us to serve you in this way and share this knowledge, we ask, how may we continue to be of service to you? You may begin with your dialogues and questions.
Bashar, I'm interested in the technology Ra mentioned in the raw material, known as a prana vacuum. How can we create a prana vacuum using today's technology?
The so-called prana vacuum is the same thing as the idea of what you might call the quantum vacuum, is the same thing as the zero-point energy concept that many people are talking about on your planet. It exists all around you. The technology exists that you can use to tap into it in certain ways. Many of the kinds of things that people have invented that say it's tapping into the zero-point energy are not exactly doing so. But the idea is growing in the consciousness, the collective consciousness of your planet, until such time as that awareness evolves into technology that will truly tap into that prana field, the quantum field, the void, and whatever else you may wish to call it. It will allow you unlimited energy, unlimited flow, an inexhaustible supply of energy that can be utilized in a variety of ways once you truly tap into that technology. It has to do with creating devices of proper resonance, proper frequencies, capacitors that vibrate at certain resonant frequencies that deliver and transform energy in a certain way, step it down in a way that you can use with your technology. We have talked a little bit about this as a space-time antenna concept. 3 nested spheres separated by phi ratio diameters, penetrated by antennae that are insulated from a Merkaba, a double interpenetrated tetrahedron in the center of the 3 spheres that resonates at certain frequencies and can be activated by the introduction of energy into it, and it will output energy of a higher caliber, a higher level, and a higher frequency, tapping into the quantum field in certain ways. But many people on your planet, a few of them, are beginning to experiment with this, and we cannot deliver more information about this device until they have already achieved what it is we have already delivered. End of discussion.
Hello, Bashar.
Good day.
Thank you for having this conversation with each other in this way.
It is our passion and our pleasure to do so. What would you like to discuss?
Talking about the hybrid children, You've mentioned in the past that contact between hybrid children and their mothers will expand over time.
Yes.
Has this process indeed started on this timeline?
Oh, yes.
Is there an increase of physical contact between human beings and the hybrid children?
Yes, but in an altered reality, not necessarily physically on your planet so much, but in a slightly altered version of physical reality, and in dream time, these encounters have increased.
Okay, wonderful.
Eventually, it will leak into the physical reality as you understand it,
Yeah.
although it will still be of a higher vibration than it is now.
Yes, understand. Yeah. And I also wanted to talk to you about suppressed memories.
Yes.
During our previous conversation, you've mentioned that I was visited by the Grace when I also was a child,
Yes.
and that these experiences are buried deep within my consciousness.
Well, not that deep.
Oh, not that deep. You also mentioned that I felt victimized because my childlike state was not able to comprehend what was going on during these visitations.
Yes.
Okay. And is it correct to say that from the point of view as a human being child, that these visitations and the removal of genetic material was somehow experienced as a trauma on a psychological level?
Yes, but only because of the way you were raised as a human, not because it's innate to the being a child, not because it's innate to being a human child, just because of the way your planet views these kinds of things, and because it is short-sighted in its compartmentalization of awareness. That's the only reason you experienced it traumatically.
And is that also the reason that we're still somehow afraid of extraterrestrials?
Because you are afraid of portions of your own power. And the extraterrestrials you're encountering represent and reflect the idea of your true power in certain ways.
Ah, I understand. And that, yeah, that's probably not a coincidence, but that leads up to my next question. Both my parents have transitioned almost within 3 years of each other. And the last parent, my father, passed 1 year ago.
Yes.
And their physical absence caused a shift in my life.
Yes, of course. That's the purpose of it.
Yeah. I experienced this as a tremendous opportunity to shed a whole bunch of negative belief systems that I have bestowed upon myself through their upbringing.
Well, congratulations. That is a positive way to use it.
Thank you. But I also sense that this tremendous opportunity is sometimes a bit frightening.
Why?
As if this whole new space that has opened up is sometimes too big to handle.
Impossible. Otherwise, you wouldn't experience it. You only grow into the space you're ready for. So no matter how it looks, you're making a comparison, still using some of the outdated beliefs to view it, instead of letting go of those outdated beliefs and understanding you cannot experience more than you're ready for anyway. You can expand into it. That's why it looks that big, because that's how big you actually are when you let go of the limiting beliefs.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. And I also am aware of the physical impact of this awareness.
Yes.
For instance, when my body is sleeping,
Yes.
it seems to respond to this awareness with an actual physical shock during the night that
Yes.
eventually wakes me up.
Yes, it can, because again, your body's not used to that vibration or frequency of energy, but it can get used to it over time.
And how can we do that? Can you say something about how to integrate this new space and the awareness of new space and the physical response to this? Is it just going with the flow, letting it happen?
That's one way, practice in a sense, having it happen over and over again, you'll get used to it. That's one way. But one way to accelerate that is to understand or have a perspective where physical reality isn't really separate from spirit reality. It's really not so different. It's just that you've defined it as very different. You've placed certain definitions on physical reality that makes it seem so unlike spirit reality, when in fact it's a natural extension of it.
Okay, and the physical body that reacts, how can we smoothen that out?
Well, this is what I'm telling you. Stop making such a separation in your belief system between the idea of your physical body and your spirit. Your physical body is your spirit in physical terms.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same kind of idea, if you wish, a crude analogy of saying ice is still water. It's just frozen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same thing. It's the same substance, essentially. And so is steam. So if you start looking at your body as if it's simply, euphemistically, a frozen version of your spirit, or at least a portion of your spirit, you can start to allow the physical reality to sort of melt a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
allow it to become a little bit more fluid, a little bit more liquid, and not be so different from the liquid version or the steam version. So you have to start really looking at physical reality as if it's just another state of being of spirit and not really separate. It's the idea of separation that's tripping you up.
Yeah, I understand. And you also said something about that the human beings on Earth will become more and more human over time.
Yes, you're actually not fully human yet.
Yeah, and I was wondering what you meant by that. What does it mean to be human as opposed to not being fully human?
Being fully human means that you understand that everything is made of unconditional love. You understand that everything is connected, everything is a reflection of everything else, and you act accordingly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Being fully human is what you ascribe to beings like Christ, Buddha, Krishna, so on and so forth. It's the idea of the behavior that reflects the godhood within you.
Yes. Yeah. And that probably also means that we're not so compartmentalized in our way of thinking then.
Exactly. You think more holistically, more as a whole system. That's why I said you understand everything is one thing. I am you from another point of view. Literally, I am you from another point of view. You are us from another point of view. A fully realized human lives in that truth.
Yeah. Thank
Right?
you so much, Bashar.
You are so welcome. Aveo.
Aveo.
Greetings, Bashar. I have a question for you. What is the template level of our space-time reality? You've mentioned that there is a template level and that we are each exploring themes from this template level, that there is a specific template for our lives. I'm wondering if this template is actually revealed in the deck of what we consider 52 playing cards, and if this template level of reality is expressed and symbolized in the deck of 52 playing cards, where exactly did these cards come from, who created them and when, and what is the best way for us to utilize these cards now in our lives in order to explore the theme of our lives, play our cards right, and give ourselves permission to be our best self. Thanks, Bashar.
All 52 are symbolic of the template level because it can be mixed and matched in any number of ways. It's not any one card, it's all of them that represents and symbolizes the template level, which is created by the choices you make in spirit to have a physical experience. So, as above, so below. You use the energy of the consciousness field to arrange certain kinds of blueprints that will manifest physiologically as the theme you will explore in physical reality. And the idea of any kind of permission slip, like a normal deck of cards or tarot cards or any kind of divination system, represents to some degree the idea of the template level. Now, you have some freedom in that with your free will as to how you experience the template you laid out for yourself, and sometimes some things can be altered or shifted. But in general, the choices made by you as a spirit will be played out as the cards you are dealt. But you can shift them around a little bit here and there with your free will, but you will play that game. That's what you decided as a spirit. So that's how the cards represent the idea of the template level in energy that then becomes crystallized down in frequency, down into what you experience as the physical card game that you are playing. Playing the right cards, as you say, is easy when you simply follow the formula. That's the secret to playing your best hand.
Hey, how are you, Bashar?
Perfect, and you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Let's see. My questions are feelings or thoughts the higher priority for manifesting our reality? Because it seems like unresolved feelings manifest over our thoughts. So how are they linked? And
This is how it works. First, you begin with beliefs and definitions. What you believe to be true is reinforced by the idea of feeling that it is true, thinking that it is true, and behaving as if it is true. Belief systems use feelings, emotions, thoughts, and behaviors to reinforce the validity and the reality of the belief system because physical reality isn't really real. Therefore, beliefs have to make you believe that it is real, and they do so by reinforcing what you believe to be true with the idea that it feels true, you think it's true, and you behave as if it's true. That's the priority, that's the order in which it happens. You cannot have a behavior, you cannot have a thought, and you cannot have an emotion without first believing or defining that something is true for you. Beliefs are the blueprint that allow you to build the house of your physical reality. So it all starts with that. So when you behave a certain way, when you think certain thoughts, when you feel certain emotions, they all go back to what must I believe to be true about myself in order to feel, think, and behave this way. Does that help you?
yeah, so if I want to change the belief system, the action or how I behave would be the best way to start, and then the feelings and thoughts
You
would
can
follow.
start from any direction you wish, but in a sense, the most efficient way to change a belief system is to figure out what that belief is telling you, figure out why you're buying into it, because it may simply be a habit that you have because you've been taught to believe this way. It may be that you're getting something out of believing that way because you don't hold on to any belief you don't think serves you. So even if it doesn't seem to serve you, you may have a belief that says that the alternative would be worse than holding on to the beliefs you have, even if they're not comfortable. Because you all want to believe that everything needs to serve you, which is true. It can. But sometimes you have beliefs and you hold on to them even if you know they're not the best beliefs to hold on to because you have a belief that the alternative would be worse. And therefore you'll still hold on to whatever it is you're holding on to until you change, until you understand that the idea that something worse will happen if you behave more like your true self is a fallacy. So you have to examine why the belief is there to begin with, allow yourself to understand why you're buying into it, and be honest in your self-investigation of what you believe will happen if you actually go in a direction you say you would prefer to. Once you understand that a negative and fear-based belief is simply telling you a story that isn't necessarily true, then you can see that it is nonsensical and illogical, and as soon as it is nonsensical, you will drop it because you don't hold on to things that don't make sense. If you do hold on to things that don't make sense, it's because you have a belief that says it makes more sense than the alternative.
Mm.
This is what we call the motivational mechanism in your psychology as humans. You always, without fail, move in the direction of what you believe serves you. You always, without fail, move away from what you believe does not serve you. So if you see yourself choosing things that you know intellectually don't serve you, it can only mean you've defined it and attached a belief to it that says it's better than the alternative. It serves you better than the alternative. Find out why you believe that, and when you expose the belief and the story it's telling you, you will see that it makes no sense, and it will be dropped. It will be gone.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Let's see. The next question is from the soul's perspective. is the physical body like a radio-controlled car where you the soul puts input to make it go left and right, and then there's always input, also input from the environment. So it's like
To some degree, you can use whatever analogy you wish, but the idea really is that the physical world and the physical body is a projection of the soul's consciousness. It's like putting on a diving suit. More than the idea of a remote control car, it's like putting on a diving suit or a diving mask and going diving under the ocean. The mask helps you see underneath the ocean clearly. It's not designed to tell you what to do. It's designed to tell you what you're experiencing more clearly. When you leave the physical reality, it's like taking off the diving mask and going back to the surface. So even though you have free will as a physical being, the soul determines what the general trajectory is from its own free will, and that may be what the physical mind thinks of as destiny. In other words, you are the person you are. You will do everything as the person you are. You cannot actually fundamentally change the person that you are, although the personality can shift to a great degree, but it's still happening to you as you think of yourself as a separate autonomous being. So you have the free will to experience the destiny of the soul in any way, shape, or form that the physical mind chooses to, positive, negative, happy, sad, whatever, fast, slow, up, down, but you will walk that path because it was determined by your free will as a soul. Is this helping?
Yeah, the diving suit was a much better metaphor than the radio-controlled car.
All right.
Thank you. Two more questions, really fast.
Yes.
When a soul wants to have an experience here on Earth, and many souls wants to have an experience here on Earth, who gets priority?
There is no need for priority because there are a multitude of infinite parallel realities that can have a similar experience.
Okay, and then the last question. On your planet, do you fart and do you laugh at your own farts like humans do?
We laugh, but we don't eat, so we don't fart.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was all. Thank you
all
very
right.
much.
Thank you, Aveo.
Aveo.
Good day, Bashar. I would like to know about the Bosnian pyramids, the ones located in Visoko, and like who built them and for what purpose, and yeah, anything you can tell me about the pyramids in Visoko in Bosnia. Thank you.
Pyramids around your planet at a certain time were all built relatively close to one another in time, around your 10,500 years ago. The idea is that they were energy collectors to balance the Earth that had gone through a catastrophic change when it was impacted by a cometary body that caused the annihilation of your Atlantean civilization. And therefore knowledge and energy was preserved in many pyramids around the planet. And also they were used as an energy balancing system to bring the planet back into alignment so it could recuperate and heal. There are other things that they were used for, but we will not go into that right now.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for talking to me.
It is our passion and our pleasure. What would you like to discuss?
So I've been following my excitement more and more since I kind of started to listen to you speak, and it feels really great. And I've been doing some like bigger and some smaller changes, and I'm following your advice of this thing of basically following my excitement more moment to moment, because there's no like one big thing in that sense.
All right, now do remember the entire formula, not just follow your excitement. There's other pieces to it, yes?
Yes, I know.
All right.
And I think what I'm like, one thing that just as an example that I quit one job that I felt like I was not excited about at all.
All right.
And now I have more free time, which is fun.
Yes.
And then sometimes I get kind of frustrated with myself because I feel like I sit there and I know that I have all these options to act on, but I kind of don't know what to do. And I wonder
yes,
if
you
there's
do.
any...
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. The idea, again, isn't that complicated. Don't overcomplicate it. If you have different options, decide for yourself which one is not only more attractive, more exciting than any other option, but which one can you act on? Which one can you do something about? If it seems that more than one is equal, you might as well flip a coin. Remember, synchronicity comes to bear in this, because if you flip a coin and say, all right, heads option A, tails option B, and you flip the coin, one of two things might happen. Let's say it lands on tails, option B, and you find yourself going, oh goody. Or you find yourself going, oh, I wish it had been option A instead. Oh, I wish it had been option A. Then you will know that that was the one that was more exciting. Or if you do head down a path that isn't necessarily the most exciting path for you at that moment, synchronicity will create certain circumstances that will turn you around in the correct direction. That's how it works. It's an automatic mechanism. So you don't have to sit there and wonder and be frustrated. Just act on whatever you are capable of acting on that contains more excitement than anything else, as far as you can determine, and let synchronicity guide you with the red light, green light aspect of its being, of its nature, which means it will bring you opportunities you can act on and take further, green light synchronicity. It will prevent you from acting on certain things that are not the correct path for you right now, red light synchronicity, just like you follow your traffic lights when you drive. You understand?
Mm.
So the starting and stopping is the way synchronicity guides you. No, not right now. Don't act in that direction. Act in this direction, whatever you can act on. And you have to use your imagination. Be very creative about the idea of what it means to take action on something in every way that you possibly can that has to do with that thing you say excites you. Even if you have to simulate the reality, that's taking an action on it.
Mm.
Let me give you an example that many people on your planet have used. There are many people who you call celebrities that are famous. But you will hear stories from many of them that before they were actually able to literally do what it is that they now do, that they're famous for, they acted it out. They simulated it. Even sometimes going so far for someone who might be a public speaker in an auditorium or a game show host or a late night interviewer as to go into a space, set it up like it's really happening, even to the level of putting fake people in the audience, maybe even just cardboard cutouts, and doing their routine as if it's really happening. Because then you're training your body to get used to the vibration of the reality of that, and that will make you attract it more strongly by doing anything you can to simulate anything you can to take an action in the direction of what excites you more than any other choice. And when we talk about that, it can also be very simple things. We don't mean when we say follow your passion, follow your excitement, that it has to be a grand project or come with trumpets or be a life-spanning career. Ta-da, here's your passion. No. Every day you have little options, simple options. I can take a walk. I can read a book. I can have lunch with a friend. I can watch a movie. Just choose the one that has more attractiveness, more curiosity, more excitement, even just the tiniest bit more that you're able to act on than any other one, and just do that first. You're still following your excitement by doing it on that level, and eventually it will usually snowball through synchronicity to bring you more and more opportunities to act on your passion in bigger and bigger and bigger ways. But the point is, it doesn't really matter if it does or not, because you're still following your excitement just by making sure that every day the options you choose are more exciting than any other option, and taking action on the ones that you can. That's all there is to it. You don't have to make it a big mystery or overcomplicate it or overthink it. That's why you're frustrated.
So you're saying I'm frustrated because I am making it way more complicated.
Yes.
Because I feel like sometimes it's literally that I have like an afternoon off and I'm sitting at home and I don't know, like I
Then you're not using your creative imagination. Sitting at home. Why are you speaking with us today? Was this more exciting than any other option?
Yes.
Well, you see, that wasn't hard. So what will you do after this conversation is over? What are your options after this conversation is over? What are your options? Name some.
Probably go to sleep because it's quite late here.
All right. Going to sleep can be exciting. That's fine. But let's say it's morning. What would be some of your options?
Usually like go for a walk, go to workout.
Do you enjoy those things? Are they expressions of your passion?
Yes, they are.
Are you sure? Because you kind of hesitated.
No, I'm sure.
All right. Because remember, sometimes you may be sort of doing what excites you, but you may not be doing it in the most exciting way. Because the idea of following your passion requires every component of it to also be the most exciting way. So you can do a thing, but where you're doing it, how you're doing it, when you're doing it, with whom you're doing it, all have to be of that vibration, or you're not really following your passion. So you get to decide the way in which you're actually acting on your excitement. And isn't that an exciting thought?
It is actually.
All right. So just make sure that whatever it is you choose to do out of the options that you have, whether it's taking a walk or working out, you're doing it in the most exciting way as a whole system. All the components of it are being done in the most exciting way. And if you can't find that one of the components is the most exciting way you would prefer to do it, use your creative imagination to create your exciting way of doing it. Yes?
Yeah, I think that what you just said with the creative, that actually helps a lot. I've never thought about it that way, that I have the power to do that.
You do. You do. So if that makes things more exciting, then you're on the right path.
Yeah.
Does this
help?
Thank
you. Yeah, that helped a lot. Yes, it really did.
All right. Does that serve you today?
Yes.
Then we thank you for your interaction. Aveo.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Of course, always. You too.
Thanks. Bye.
Why would I have anything else?
Sorry?
Why would I choose anything else?
Oh, yeah, that's makes sense.
Yes, I know. That's why I said it. So go and don't choose what doesn't make sense.
I will. Thank you so much, Bashar.
It's up to you. Thank you.